Hi team, Mr. Rator here. Okay, continue with the higher unit 2, question 2. So it goes here, 5 female giraffes have a mean weight of X, 7 male giraffes have a mean weight of Y. Write an expression in terms of X and Y for the mean weight of the 12 giraffes. Okay, so first of all, we need to know what the total weight is of all the giraffes, all the 12 giraffes, add them up together and divide by how many giraffes there are, which is hence, in this case, 12. So female, there are 5 female, and they have a mean weight of X. So let's just say 5 times X, so that's going to give me 5X. And I've got 7 male giraffes, and they have a mean weight of Y, which means each giraffe is approximately Y kg, weighs Y kg, so that's going to give me 7Y. Now if I want the mean, the average of one of the giraffes, I'm going to call it G for giraffe. If I want the average of the giraffe, that's going to be add all this together. So the way we find the mean is the total weight of all 12 giraffes, which is going to be 5x plus 7y, and then we're going to divide that by how many giraffes there are, which is 12. So there we go, the average weight of a giraffe is 5x plus 7y shared by 12. Simple. Okay, scroll down. Next one. Question 3. Okay, so let's start here. We've already done one of these in question 1. Let's just quickly expand and simplify. You should get used to this now. So it's just literally all this bracket times by p first, and all this bracket times by 9. So p times p is p squared. P times minus 4 is minus 4p. And 9 times p is positive 9p. And 9 times 4, 9, 18, 27, 36 is negative. That's minus 36. The only thing we need to simplify is this middle term, so that's minus 4 plus 9, or we can say minus 4p plus 9p, or we can say 9p minus 4p, which will end up as being 5p. So this is simplified to p squared plus 5p and minus 36. Okay, sweet. Okay, solving equations. So first thing first, let's get rid of this divide by 3. Now to get rid of this divide by 3, we times average both sides by 3. So let's take that to the other side by timesing it by 3. Obviously you don't see this part because 3 times a third, they disappear, so we literally took that there. Now when we times everything by 3, it's best to introduce brackets here. Realize you times in everything by 3, so that divide by 3 is gone to the side by multiplying by 3. So what we left with on the left hand side, we got 5w minus 8, because the 3 has gone to the other side, and we've done the opposite. The inverse of divide by 3 is times by 3. Now when we times this by 3, we need to times everything by 3. We need to times the 4w by 3, and then we need to times the 2 by 3. So 4w times 3 is 12w, and 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, now we need to make a decision where do we leave the w's, which side on, and which side we take the numbers on. So the way I do this is I look at the side which has got the most letters on. In this case, it's got the most here. It's got 12w on this side, so I'm going to bring all the w's to the right hand side and then take the numbers to the opposite. So this is 5w. More importantly, is it positive 5w or negative? It's a positive 5w. The opposite of positive 5w when I take it to the side becomes minus 5w. I'm going to get minus 8 equals 12w minus 5w. 12w minus 5w is going to give me 7w. Still got the plus 6 on here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this positive 6. Always remember the symbol in front tells you whether it's plus or minus. I'm going to take that to the other side. Opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. And minus 8, minus 6, minus 8, minus, so you got something that's negative 8 and it drops by another 6. So that's going to end up minus 14. And that is equal to 7w. Now, to get what w is, I need to get rid of this 7. So what is this 7 doing to w? Is timesing. The opposite of timesing is divide. So no, there's no symbol between the 7 and the w, so it's a times. The opposite of timesing, taking it to the other side, is divide by 7. Okay, you should know that 14 shared by 7, how many 7s going to 14 is 2, but with a minus sign there, so that's going to be minus 2. And now that 7 has gone to the other side, so we're just left with w there. So the value of w is going to be minus 2. You can substitute minus 2 into the expression to just double check, yes, will it work? Is that going to give me the answer? And then hopefully that's one form of double checking. If we do it mentally now, you can see that minus 2, 4 times minus 2 is minus 8, plus 2 is minus 6. And then if we put minus 2 in here, 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. Minus 10 minus 8 is minus 18. Minus 18 divided by 3 is minus 18 divided by 3 is minus 6, which is also the same as the right hand side. So yes, bingo, got it right. Okay, let's just scroll down a bit. So let's clear this, give you a second to have a look, pause it if you need to. And let's clear it now and scroll down. Okay, next two questions. Right, see, we've done that before. We have seen that before. See if you can pause it and have a go at it. We've done that earlier in question 1. Now, if you had a go, great, you paused it. What you should have noticed when you play this now is this is again difference between two squares. So the first thing to do is open up two brackets next to each other, the double brackets. Square root x squared, which is just x. So put x in each corner. Square root 49, which is 7. Since 7 times 7 is 49. And then it doesn't really matter where you put the plus or minus. I always like to start plus, then a minus there. And that is done. That's called difference between two squares. Okay, now what we got here, it looks very complicated, but as long as you know this, when you got anything to the power of a half means square root, it should be okay. You should be able to work that out. So what we got is I'm going to split all this up in square root each one. So I'm going to have 9 square root, because it's all times in. We can only do this because they're all been times in. So x to the power 8 square root and times y cubed square root. Okay, square root of 9 is 3. Now, what is the power of, when you square root in, you half the power. So half of 8 is going to be 4. Reason being, because x to the power 4, let's just write it here, x to the power 4 times x to the power 4. The rule is when we times and base the same, we add the powers, so 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, so when we square rooting, we half the power, so that will give me x to the power 4. And for the same reason here, when we square rooting y cubed, we half the power, which is 3 over 2, okay, or 1.5, but let's leave it as fractions, better form to put it in. So that will be y 3 over 2. and that is your final answer. 2 marks. Okay, so a quick scroll down, see how we're doing. Let's clear this all. Let's look at question 4. Yeah, go at question 4, pause it, start it up. Okay, question 4. Very simple expansion. So all you do is literally times everything inside the bracket by the number outside. So everything is going to be multiplied by 3. So 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 2 is 6. So positive 6. It's a very straightforward grade 1, grade 2 style question, that. Next one, factorize completely. So what we got is, again, we're going to introduce brackets this time because we do the opposite to expansion. From brackets, first of all, let's deal with the numbers. What is the biggest number that goes into 12, divides exactly into 12 and 18, known as the highest common factor? In this case, it will be 6. Let's get the 6 out. Okay, so then we just can say how many 6's go into 12 is 2, so put the 2 there. And how many 6's go into 18 is 3, put the 3 there. Okay, we'll just introduce the minus sign here to separate these two terms. Okay, now this has got x in it, this has got x cubed, and this has got x, so they both got x in common, so I'm going to take the x out. So that leaves in this expression, I'm going to have x out, so I'm going to have to times it by x squared. That becomes 2x squared. Okay, so x squared times x is x cubed, and 6 times 2 is 12, so we got 12x squared. And in this one, the x is, there's only one x, so we don't need to put anything there because I know that 3 times 6x is 18x. Okay, what else is common in these two expressions is the y. So I'm going to take the y out. Now y, there's only one y there, that's why I've only taken one out, but they've got y squared there. So I don't need to put the y there. However, I need to put a y here because I need y squared. Y times y will give me y squared. Let's just double check this and see if we got everything. There's nothing missing. First of all, there's no more common factors in here, so we're happy with that. And secondly, let's just double check if this works and expands out to give these two expressions. So 6 times 2 is 12, x times x is x cubed, and we've got a y. So we've got this term, so we're happy with that. Second term, let's just check it. 6x times 3 is 18x. And then y times y is y squared, spot. So we got this term here. Okay, sweet. Done that. Okay, next one, expand and simplify. We've done some of these before. Double brackets, literally everything in this bracket is going to be times by 2x, then it's going to be times by minus 3, and then we're going to start collecting the terms together and simplify. So let's start with further ado. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. And minus 3 times 4 is minus 12. Okay, so you get the 1 mark for expanding this all out. Let's just show it. 2x times x, 2x squared. So we times that by 2x, it gives me 8x. So we times it with minus 3, x times minus 3 is minus 3x, and 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. If we simplify this expression, well, we only need to collect the middle term, which will be 8x minus 3x, which is going to give me 5x. So write this in a simplified form as 2x squared. It's going to end up as a positive 5x in the middle and minus 12 at the end. Okay, simples. And this one, looks horrible, but if we rewrite this, because everything's being multiplied, so rewrite this as 5 times 2 times x to the power 4 times x to the power cube. So I'm putting all the terms together next to each other, and then I can start using our indices rules. Y cubed times y squared. So I put all the numbers together, we're multiplying all the x's, and then multiplying the y's. There we go. So 5 times 2 is 10. Now base is the same on the x's, so that's going to remain as x. What we need to do when we're multiplying, we add the powers, so 4 plus 3 is 7. And base y's are the same, so the base is going to stay as y. We're multiplying, keep the base the same, add the powers, 3 plus 2 is 5. And that's how the cookie crumbles. Okay, sweet.